In this video, we're going to talk about all of the training and education that you need to provide to your new baristas to help them get up to speed quickly to serve great coffees and provide a fantastic customer experience. Stick around to the end as well. We've got a freebie for you to download, and there are plenty of other links throughout to help you on your way. So when you hire a new member onto your team, it's really important that we get them up to speed in a few different areas so they can be comfortable and confident by themselves when the time comes. So first up with the coffee side of things, the first thing that you should look to do when you bring a new barista on board is to reach out to your roaster and see if you can get some barista training for them. Especially if they don't have any experience in the coffee side of things, it's quite easy to pick up bad habits as you go. So you want to set them down the right path early on in their journey. So you could reach out to someone at your coffee roaster, whether it's your account manager or a barista trainer, to help get them up to speed with how all of the equipment works and how to dial in their coffees and start serving great drinks. Or you could, instead of on-site training, you could send your barista to your roaster. A lot of roasters will hold coffee training courses, like SCA certified courses. It does usually cost a little bit of money, but is a fantastic way to really develop their coffee skills to a high standard early on. You can also ask them if they have any kind of resources that you can tap into, whether they have a big bank of YouTube training videos, or if they have any kind of brochures or training manuals or documentation on how to get up to speed quickly with coffee. Whatever it is that you're looking for, make sure to reach out to your roaster as your first point of contact with helping your new staff get up to speed quickly with the coffee. And now a big area is in all things health, safety, and hygiene. It's your job as a business owner or a manager to make sure that your staff and your customers are being looked after and that your business is compliant with all of the health and safety and hygiene regulations in your country. So in the UK, your baristas don't actually have to have any formal kind of training in order to start making coffees. But your business does legally have to make sure that all of its staff are given the appropriate training for their job and for their level of experience. So if they haven't had training on food hygiene or allergies in a previous role, one great thing that you could do is to enroll them on a level 2 food hygiene course, and that will give them a certificate after about 2 to 3 hours when they pass a test. And that just gives you some proven documentation that they have been given the right kind of training and advice for their level of experience. There are plenty of free online resources that you can tap into, so I'll leave some links down in the description. So next we can get into the basics of their coffee training. So make sure they understand the importance of using a properly dialed in coffee recipe, and they know how to achieve the right recipe as well. So one thing you could do is to get them to try a sour and under extracted double espresso and compare that with a harsh and bitter over extracted espresso to show them the importance of that coffee recipe on the flavor of your drinks. Make sure you can then teach them the basics of your coffee recipe. So that is your dose of coffee going in, the liquid espresso coming out, and your target extraction time as well for your specific coffee and machinery. And make sure you talk them through how to use their equipment and adjust the recipe to get into that proper extraction time. You can show them how to adjust the grinder if they need to. So if things are running a bit too quickly, how to grind finer and slow things down. Or if the shot is running too slow and the extraction is way too long, how to coarsen up the grind size to get that back into the normal range. And make sure to show them what a proper espresso workflow looks like before you go into all of the coffee drinks. So make sure that they are removing the portafilter, purging a little bit of water through that shower screen to get rid of any grounds or oils, getting rid of the coffee puck and then cleaning the portafilter, dosing the right amount of coffee into the basket, and then tamping with a nice even pressure before brewing the espresso. So one part of becoming a really well-trained and skilled barista is being able to perform latte art on your drinks. This is something that just comes with time and practice, but one thing that's absolutely essential is that they are able to steam their milk properly. Otherwise, they won't be able to get that great texture and those nice patterns on the coffee. Baristas can very quickly get into bad habits when it comes to steaming milk. So make sure early on, either with your roaster or you yourself or some of your existing employees, are showing them how to properly steam great milk. We've put out quite a few videos at this point about milk steaming, and I'll leave some links down in the description. But some of the basics are just using the right size of jug for the drink that you're trying to create and filling it to the right level just at the rim of the bottom of the spout. Positioning that steam one properly, just slightly off center to get a nice vortex going, and adding a small amount of air before using that vortex motion to break down all the bubbles into tiny microfoam. At some point, they are going to have to be confident to serve customers without your help, and maybe even by themselves first thing in the morning or during a quiet period. You want to get them up to speed with your menu as quick as possible. So there are two things that you could do to really help speed up that learning process of your menu. And the first one is to just have a simple menu in the first place. So there are so many different coffees that you could offer, but 5 of the most common would be a double espresso, a flat white, a cappuccino, a latte, and then an Americano. They're usually the most common, and you could keep your menu that simple if you wanted to, and that would make it really easy for your baristas to learn. Or maybe you're just using a bean to cup machine and there's buttons for all of the drinks that you offer, in which case that will be very quick for them to learn. And the second tip is to use specific cup sizes for each drink. So if your baristas know that a flat white goes in the smaller cup, whereas a latte goes in the larger cup, that will be very easy for them to learn what kind of coffee to milk ratio they need to use. A flat white and a latte both use milk and a double espresso. All they have to know is that the cup size is different for each drink. So next is latte art, and once again this is something that comes with time and practice, and it's one of the hardest parts about being a barista and something that can take years to develop. So they are going to have to figure a lot of it out by themselves and develop a lot of that muscle memory. But just like with steaming milk, it's really important that you set them down the right path early on. So once they've learned to steam the milk, it's then time to show them to tap out any remaining bubbles in the jug and then swirl that foam back into the milk to get that really nice, thick, glossy texture. Starting the pour from up high to combine with that base and set a nice canvas for their art. And then drop down with the jug when they're ready to start drawing right to the surface of the coffee to paint that latte art pattern. Then lifting and cutting through the design to finish off the pour and create a really nice design. So those are some of the basics of serving the actual drinks. But one key element of a great barista is having fantastic customer service. And really this is something that you should be looking for in the people that you bring on board, that they are joyful, happy, outgoing people, and they are very good at striking up a conversation with anyone. But customer service is something that can be taught as well. So make sure to teach them to greet every customer that walks through the door and to be friendly and approachable yet professional. Make sure they are learning everything about the products that you offer so they can provide that great quality service to the customers, and also try and teach them ways in which they can offer samples and even upsell items to your customers, whether that's offering a larger size or a nice pairing with the drink that they've ordered. Make sure they know that cleaning is a part of their job and it's something that they will be expected to do. Back when I was a barista, my manager would always tell me, if there's time to lean, there's time to clean. That just helps your business look better in the eyes of your customer, and it all adds to the quality of the service. So show them where they can get all the right cleaning chemicals and tools to help keep the place spotless day in and day out. And make sure they know the exact procedure for closing down the shop at the end of the day, what needs to be cleaned, what needs to be turned off, and how things should be left for the next morning. So that was all of the things that you need to make sure that your baristas are being taught and shown how to do when they start on board at your coffee shop. If you want to have some form of this video that you can print off or that you can check through with every new member of staff, I have left a link in the description to a free spreadsheet that you can use for each new member of staff to just tick off everything that they have completed, as we've mentioned in this video. Check out some of the other videos on our channel to help your new baristas and yourself and the rest of your teams serve a great coffee for your customers. Subscribe to the channel and like the video if you found it helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.